We're not live yet. You are? Okay.
Salutations, everybody. Charles Cohen and Isaac Moskowitz here for the third installment of the Dragons versus Brunswick. This one's going to be a good one. All three of them have been good ones, but look, the Dragons have continually just fighting back against the Bruins, especially in the second half. And, well, third time's the charm. We'll see if they're able to figure it out, but it's tough to get past the Brunswick team led by Logan Galetta and Colin Moshine. It's a tough task for any team, but look, the Dragons are up for the challenge today, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. GFA, very good team, kept it close in these last couple of games, but what keys to the game they need to do, clean up their fundamentals, commit less turnovers, utilize the most of their offensive drives, be efficient, balanced play on the offense, and get turnovers on the defensive side. That's a recipe for success for GFA. We'll see what they have drawn up here to get that done.
Well, Edelman for the tip-off here. This one's up and taken in the backcourt by Will Schott. And the game is underway as Weiss dishes this one outside to Magid, working up against Colin Moshine to start this one up. That's a matchup to look at as we continue to go through this game. Edelman shoots from deep. That one is just off the backboard and tipped away. This one's going to GFA.
GFA starting out strong so far. Good balanced offensive drive. Didn't get points yet, but they're moving the ball well.
Edelman passes this one outside to Weiss. Inside to Grills, who drives, had that one stripped away, and they're taken by Moshine. He has to get around Will Schott. Now he stops looking for a teammate, and he finds Riley outside, but a travel is called. So Grills, the inbounder here, still 0-0. You can just see how fast-paced these games are so far.
Absolutely, yeah. These games between GFA and Brunswick, lightning quick, blink and you'll miss it kind of plays. They play really fast-paced offense and fast-paced defense as well. And it's kind of on both sides of the ball, you want to make sure you're focused and you're locked in, loaded, able to get where you need to be in during the play and really get things going. We'll see which team can do that here.
Nice screen by Weiss, and this one's dished outside to Edelman, working now against Mahalik, and a trouble is called on Edelman, so turnovers on every possession. Interesting to note that the Bruins go with Jack Mahalik as the starting center for today instead of Wyatt Tressman, who's just been great those last few games. So we'll see if Mahalik can shake up the defense a little bit. They weren't ready for him, so.
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, Tressman was very good, especially in the paint, and Mahalik seems to be more of a three-point shooter-oriented person, and so maybe they're going with a different strategy here, going with one where they're kind of playing from beyond the outer perimeter, trying to kill GFA with the three-pointers, as GFA has done to many teams. We'll see how GFA tries to counter that there. They look like they're playing a little bit more press defense, so I think they understand what kind of play is happening for that, what kind of play style GFA is playing, and they're trying to counter that.
Logan Galetta also not on the starting lineup, as that one is off the backboard, rebounded by Grills. This one's passed out to Weiss. Has to work around two, and they say that Schott stepped out of bounds. So Bruins inbound, still scoreless.
And that's surprising this late into the game against these two opponents. I mean, in the past few games, we were almost at, 7 points each per game like that. It was quite the amount of points and fast-paced offense style of game in their last two games, but this one, not so much.
Now Moshine tries to get around Grills. That one is up and no good. Rebounded. Mahalik couldn't put that one in. Here's a long pass. It's Schott. Has to get around two, and he gives this one off to Grills. Now resetting a bit, working the perimeter. Here's Magid from deep, off the mark, rebounded by Edelman. Defender slips. That one's put underneath the Grills, and this one shakes in for the first points of the game. GFA strikes first as Sealy takes this one up the court now. Now outside, Sealy shoots from deep. That one is no good. And looks like it's not rebounded by anyone. This one's going to the Dragons after the tip.
Great positioning by Oscar Edelman on that last play to get that rebound. He was right in position, had a Brunswick player fall, so that was pretty timely there. But he was right in position, able to box out, get the rebound, and give Jack Grills an opportunity to get the first few points of the game. Good job by GFA, and that's something they're going to want to maintain throughout the rest of this game. Good positioning, getting those offensive rebounds and those defensive rebounds, going to be crucial going forward.
Now Sealy up against Weiss. Riley now has it. Looking for a teammate. A great pass off the Moshine, and puts that one in. So a nice way to find a hole through the Greens Farms defense. This game's all tied up as Magid takes this one now out. Weiss now at the top of the key. Grills now driving. He fires one into Edelman, gets the pass out. No foul was called. Looking for a teammate. That one is stolen away, and the Bruins now take it up. Outside. Wide open from deep. That one is good. He capitalizes on the wide open three. And Matt Russell has his team up on top now.
I haven't heard the Coil Gym be that loud in a long time, and it's for the opposing team. Usually it's GFA doing the cheering and that volume in the Coil Gym in the Dragon's Den, but this one, a lot of Brunswick fans here, or at least a good amount of Brunswick parents, and the Brunswick player section is quite loud.
Mayock shoots from deep. That one is off the mark. Now rebounded by Edelman, who's looking for a pass. The shot clock did reset, though, as Magid goes to work. Trying to drive through a two. Here's Edelman. Couldn't put that one in. It's rebounded by the Bruins once again. So the shot's not falling so far for Greens Farms. And their defense has to pick up the slack now. As here's a deep shot. That one is no good. Tipped away, and Riley gets his own rebound. Aiden Riley with a drive. That one is no good. Gets his own rebound once again. Kicks it outside. Moshine thought about taking it, does not. Takes a shot from the free throw line. That one is no good. Rebounded by Mahalik. There's a foul, and he will go to the line to shoot two. As it looks like Nash and Magid waiting to get substituted in for Greens Farms. So Mahalik to shoot two. That one is no good.
It's like the Splash Brothers coming onto the court. Both Maggots on the court. Looks like they're going to do a more three-point shooting-oriented approach.
And
not a bad strategy given.
No good. So they missed both free throws at the line, a rarity for the Bruins over the last few games. As now Nash goes to work. Up against Riley. Slips through two. And, oh man, that was dramatic, but couldn't shake in. Dishes it outside. Takes that deep shot. No good. Rebounded by Edelman. And the Dragons catch a break on that possession. As Nash puts it outside. Mayock slips by Riley. Then puts on the brakes. Outside to Magid. Nash pulls up from deep, a rarity, and couldn't put that one in though. Don't see Nash pulling up from deep very often, but almost made that one. Here's a pull-up, and there's Moshine, puts that one through.
Exactly. You don't see him pull up from deep very often. He's more of a kind of field general and a leader on the team, kind of with the assists and the passing, and he likes to go into the paint and get those buckets there. But he can shoot from beyond the arc, and he almost made it there. And it looks like both teams leaving players open from beyond the arc, kind of daring each other to make those three-pointers. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just kind of a lapse in defensive coverage, but it's interesting to see how that goes along because both these teams are very strong three-point shooters, and if you leave them open for too long, you're going to make them. They're going to pay you. They're going to make you pay.
As Riley now fakes the shot, slips by Mayock and puts that one in. So a 7-point lead for the Bruins here after a bunch of turnovers and great offense or defensive rebounds rather for the Bruins. So Nash takes this one up, working against Riley. Slips by one, couldn't finish it. Rebounded by Sealy. And now Sealy goes to work against Magid. And a travel is called. And Greens Farms takes a timeout. So Greens Farms down 7 early thanks to some offensive turnovers and unable to capitalize on some of their second chance efforts if they do have them. So again, you don't want to go into a hole early and, well, turnovers are the recipe for going down.
Exactly, exactly. One of the keys to the game, I said in pregame, is that GFA needs to limit the turnovers that they make, because Brunswick will make you pay just with their offensive capability. You don't need to give them any more opportunities if you're GFA. And so you need to be able to have a good ball control, have control of, possession, keep as many possessions as you can, and the shots aren't going to fall often. And that's just like what nature of basketball. But when you have an opportunity to take a shot that you've taken in practice that you know you can make, you have to be able to take that shot confidently and effectively to get the most amount of points you can, because GFA's just got to stick with Brunswick and throughout the game, because Brunswick's a very tough opponent, as we've said in the last 3 broadcasts. So GFA, if they're their ability to stick with Brunswick and to maintain, not be behind by too much, it definitely hinges on their ability to get rebounds and to make sure that they don't commit too many turnovers, because like I said, you don't want to give Brunswick any more opportunities than you can if you're GFA.
We'll see if that timeout gives them some time to strategize a bit, shake up their defensive plan. No substitutions were made, and the Dragons will inbound it here, down 7. And it will be Maga to inbound. And Nash takes this one up. Has to get around Riley. Now Maggot. Nice screen by Edelman. Has a wide open 3. Able to put that one in. There's the first 3 for the Dragons here. Well, no, they call that a deep 2. Well, a deep 2 then. Another deep 2. We've seen a lot of them
that looked like a 3
on our broadcast.
That definitely looked like a 3 from our angle, but ref sees what they see.
Riley able to get that ball back. Has to go to work around Mayotte. Outside in the corner. Nice defense by Magid so far as he puts it back to Riley. A good screen by Mahalik. Has 1 second to shoot. That one is off the mark. Rebounded, and a foul is called, and an and 1. Nice work by Matt Russell underneath the basket. And that's a big-time play for the Bruins so far.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge.
Just able to get it off the shot clock and able to get that rebound. Wow. Look, I think they're discussing maybe if it was a shot clock violation by the time he shot it. Let's see.
From our angle, it looked like the shot, from what I saw, it looked like the shot clock went off as the ball was in
Yeah, they're
play.
calling it a shooting foul, so they do say that the shot came.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Matt Russell with a chance to put Brunswick up by 9. Or by 8, rather. That one is short. So it will stay at 7. As Nash now kicks this one out to Maggot. Screen by Edelman. Puts it in. That one's tipped away, and staying with Greens Farms, almost another costly turnover in the offensive area.
Absolutely. GFA's got to be able to shore that up. They have to find a way to make sure that they don't commit too many of those turnovers, because that's going to cost them. And one of the reasons why Brunswick's done such a good job in these last few games, no turnovers. They haven't committed many turnovers at all. They've been really good at keeping control of the ball. Nice, crisp passing. They've been able to keep those passing lanes open and find the open man, and then just use their physicality to get the ball into the hoop, into the net, and get those points. So that's what GFA has to do. They have to emulate that strategy, make sure that they don't commit too many turnovers. And I know against a really physical team like Brunswick, it's definitely difficult because they're all over your face, swarming in your zone. But you have to find a way to communicate better. And I think it all starts with communication. You have to drop a play, drop some communication schemes, and get players open that can make the shot and get them where they work best.
As Magid kicks this one outside to Edelman. Now Magid going to work. That one is put up and no good. Rebounded by Mahalik, and now Riley takes it by Nash and now stops to look for a teammate. Flings this one outside to Seeley, who goes to work around Mayotte. Nice powerful play and puts that one in. So Nash now works this one up for Dreens Farms. They're in need of some points. They just can't solve this Brunswick defense so far. As Magid now takes this one. Here's the drive, kicks it outside Mayotte. Tries to look for a shooting lane, but he has none as they put this one inside to to Edelman, has to get around Mahalik. Now Magid tiptoes the sideline, finds his brother out in the corner. That one is good from deep. So it's a 6-point game as Riley hands this one up to Seeley, who then drives past Edelman, could not put that one in. A nice rebound. That one is down the court, and they couldn't save it. Corden will come in, and Magid will come off. Corden maybe would provide some defensive sparks that they need. He's a great physical player, known for his steals and the nitty-gritty plays underneath the basket. So.
Oh, absolutely, and that's exactly what GFA needs. When you have a really strong team like Brunswick, which is really strong in the paint and underneath the basket, you want to be able to counter that with good defensive play underneath the basket. Just make it harder for them there, kind of force them to shoot from beyond the arc, because they don't look like they're too hot from beyond the arc right now. They made a three or two, but they've been hesitant to shoot there, and if you're GFA, you might want to take that to your advantage.
As a pass that couldn't find Segerson, and now Mayock has to work. Outside now Corden, here's the drive. Nice kick outside, Magid from deep. That one is no good and rebounded by Corden. Here's a second chance opportunity for Greens Farms as they push it outside to Nash. Outside Mayock from the arc, boom! He hits that one. Nice three-pointer by Andrew Mayock, makes it a 3-point game, and the Dragons are clawing away.
That was from way, way far away. That was a very deep three-pointer, but Jeff puts GFA in a really great position. Only down by 3. Good defensive stand there. Puts them right back into it with the possibility to tie.
And that one is blocked by Edelman. A great play. Now outside to Goleta. Tressman now. Here's the drive. Has to get around Edelman, and he could not finish it. Segerson down the way. No good. Rebounded by Edelman. Some contact. Nothing called, as now it's outside. Here's Mayock looking. Edelman from beyond the arc for the tie. He got it. Big play by Oscar Edelman, who's 1 for 1 from the land of good and plenty, as a timeout's called by Brunswick to stop the Greens Farms momentum, but they're on a nice little run. The Dragons clawing back. Look, this is the first time they've tied it in regulation in 3 games that they played, so they're figuring something out.
Oh, absolutely. When you play a team 3 times, odds are you're going to find something that seems to work against them and really help and can help your team claw your way back into it. And GFA's found something and they're exploiting it. I really like what GFA did on that last play. They stuck with it. It was 2, 3, 4 offensive chances that Brunswick had to get into the net, and GFA just did not let that happen. Iron wall, iron curtain from Oscar Edelman and Carl Corden and a bunch of other players in the paint, really making sure that Brunswick just had enormous difficulty getting that ball into the hoop on their offensive possession, and then they got the steal. They didn't allow anything to happen on that offensive drive and then go down the other end and score a 3-pointer. Really great tenacity by GFA.
Well, look, you got to hand it to Coach Jervis with that awesome coaching decision now. I mean, whenever you take a player like Sam Magid out of the game, everyone sort of scratches their head a little bit, but you put in Carl Corden, he makes plays like that.
Absolutely.
Great defensive presence, and that led to a little bit of a comeback here for the Dragons. We'll see if they can sustain it, as the Bruins will have an inbound. Look, we got 6 minutes left, just the first quarter. This is already a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This is going to be a really good game. Looks to be more evenly matched than the last 2 times they played. And that's really what makes it a fantastic game for us to broadcast, when both teams are going at it. Lead changes left and right. Those are the best games to broadcast.
So Joseph to take this one up as he puts this one into Tressman. Corden has the guard. That one's up and rattles in. So Segerson puts the Bruins up. Now outside to Edelman. He takes another deep shot. That one is off the rim and out of bounds. And a timeout is called by Greens Farms again to regroup.
If I was Edelman, I'm not sure about that shot. He might have been seeing something I didn't. On the court, it looked like he was pretty tightly guarded though, and maybe Coach Jarvis is calling this timeout to regroup the offense and try to figure out a play. If they're going to specifically call, like a specific play that they're going to call to make the most of these next 3 possessions. Because it looks like there was some sort of miscommunication or just lack of a plan on the GFA offensive side of the ball. And they want to make sure that they don't have any wasted possessions. They want to make sure that they have very efficient offensive scoring,
Absolutely,
balanced
yeah.
drives. And that's exactly what they need to do to stay toe-to-toe with Brunswick, because that's what Brunswick does best. And Coach Jarvis has something going. I mean, GFA's only down by 2, tied it up, one fantastic run to claw back at the deficit made by Brunswick. And they're going to try to exploit what he's seen and utilize what the weapons he has on his team going forward.
So Joseph to take this one out. Tressman now going up against Corden. Nice pass underneath the Segerson. Has to get around Edelman, and he cannot. And this ball is taken by the Dragons in the back court. Nash now to take this up slowly. Taking his time, ready for his teammates to move for him as he takes this one all the way. And a nice move by Nash. So shifty past defenders and ties this game up at 15 apiece. Now Tressman gets it at the top of the key, going up against Corden. Back outside, it's Galetta. Joseph now around the free throw line. Almost had that one stripped away by Magid, who puts it outside to Tressman, who drives underneath Segerson. They have 8 seconds to shoot now. Galetta now outside. Tressman going through, has to put that one up, and it cannot go in for an and one, but he will go to the line to shoot 2 on the shooting foul, as it looks like Grills and Magid are set to check back in the next buzzer sounds.
This is what I'm talking about when I say that Brunswick's a very physical team. They make their money in the paint, and being able to just outplay guys in the paint for GFA, really any team they play fantastically in the paint. Getting the harsh buckets, getting the harsh points there, they add up, they accumulate. And if you're punishing in the paint, you can start to accumulate your lead, grow that lead, and then that opens things up for you on the perimeter, because you have all the defense, crashing in on the paint, and you're able to open things up on the perimeter.
Well, Nash now with the opportunity to put the Dragons up after one missed free throw has that floater. That one is no good. Rebounded by Galetta, who passes that one just out of the reach of Tressman. So the Dragons again catch a break after the missed shot. And it will be Grills to inbound this one. Or rather, Mayock. Now Nash takes this one up. Waiting for his teammates to get set. He drives a bit. Looking for a hole. He thinks he found one, but there's a shooting foul called on the shot. So Nash will go to the line to shoot 2.
GFA using a screen-style offense. You see Oscar Edmond on that play, screening a bunch of Brunswick players and letting Nash slip through the defense and get into that and get the foul. Hopefully he was hoping to get the points, but he had that play right to the basket, right to the post, and able to get draw the foul, and has the opportunity to get points here.
Chalyave is set to check in for the Dragons after that first missed free throw, so Nash has the opportunity to tie it up, and he does just that, as Chalyave will come in and take Nash out. And his team is tied at 16 apiece. Tressman hands this one off to Joseph. Back to Seeley. Outside Joseph. Didn't have a lane to shoot the 3. Galetta driving through. What a nice move by Galetta, who shakes that one in. That was real quick. Able to get past 2 defenders and put that one in. Nice individual effort.
Absolutely, he's such a fast player on the court. When you see it, you just zoom right by you. And GFA's got to make sure you watch him, because he's such a fantastic player, especially in the paint. Really helps Brunswick offense out that way. You got to keep track of him wherever he is on the court.
As Grills has that one, and that one's no good. So Joseph takes it the other way. Underneath, Seeley, surrounded by 2, outside to Galetta. Chalyave on defense. He gets by 2 defenders and couldn't put it home. Outside the Moshine, Tressman with a B-button spin and one. What a play. Wyatt Tressman. That's a great effort.
Oh, fantastic. Wow.
He gets to go to the free throw line too.
That's all I can say about that play.
Whoop.
Wow. I mean, B-button, whoop, 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 just slips by, 2, 3 defenders and draws the N1 and gets the points. One of the reasons why he's one of the best players on the team.
So now an opportunity for the Bruins to take a 5-point lead with 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes left in your first half. Or first game, whichever way they want to play it.
Yeah, whichever way they slice the scoreboard.
That one is good. So a 5-point lead for Brunswick. And here's Maggie to take it up.
JFA's got to slow down this possession. Don't take the shot and don't rush it. You got to make sure you take the shots that you know how to take, because on the last few possessions, GFA has either committed a turnover or they just haven't been able to get the shots that they like, and the shots haven't fallen that way.
And a mass break called. So Green Storms inbound this one. They've got 14 seconds on the shot clock. And it's been tough for them to find a hole through the Brunswick's defense so far. I mean, they've made good work of it when they've found them, but I mean, they're just trying to create something where there isn't.
Yeah, and that's really been the problem these past few games. Brunswick's defense is just, when you try to go to the paint, they're just too good. They'll out-physical you. They're a taller team, bigger team, and you'll just be outplayed in that aspect. So GFA's found something in this game where they've tried more stuff from beyond the arc, tried more stuff outside of the paint, didn't try to be as punishing in the paint as they usually are against other teams, because that just simply doesn't work against Brunswick.
Well, what's really been, I think, the most successful for them has been when they've driven into the paint and then found someone outside from beyond the arc to shoot, as Moshine has a wide open three, puts that one in. But it's when you drive in and you kick it outside for the three-pointer when it's open.
Exactly.
That's what I think has been the best for them, as that one is blocked away, but Magid will go to the free throw line. It's an 8-point game after that big three-pointer from Moshine. You can't leave him open.
No, absolutely not. You cannot. He's such a great player from beyond the arc, and part of the three-point shooting arsenal that Brunswick has. But back to what you're saying about GFA, yeah, they have to be able to ball control. That's what it all really amounts to. If you have good ball control, good crisp passing, you know exactly where your player is going to be at any given time. You can understand that they're going to be, on your left or on your right or just past you, and you're going to be able to find them as you drive into the paint. You can swing it out to them, kick it out to them, and then they have a wide open shot that they can use. And GFA is so good from beyond the arc that they can make you pay there.
So a 6-point game. Tressman takes this up. Just over 3 minutes left. And Seeley now at the top of the key. Back out. Moshine hands this one off to Tressman. Has to go to work against Edelman. And a foul is called, so. Yeah, looks like a foul against Edelman. So the Bruins will get an inbound. Joseph to take this one in. And he flings one outside. Galetta able to corral that one. And what a play by Joseph to keep that ball in. Like an Odell Beckham Jr. catch as Seeley takes that one from deep. That one is no good, and off the fingertips of Nash. He couldn't quite secure it. And the Brunswick Bruins have another chance.
Exactly. That's kind of the play that you cannot have if you're GFA. You can't give them those errors, and I know it's definitely difficult. Beezer said that none. It's easier for me to say you can't let it go out of bounds than me try to play with these people on the court. But definitely have to be able to control what you can control, and control the unforced errors and make sure that you don't commit them is crucial in this game. You don't want to give Brunswick any more opportunities than they can get if you're GFA.
And a nice play and an and one as he hit Seeley's wrist. So he'll go to the line, try to make this a 3-point play, and a 9-point game. As Magid now checks in for Caluve. That one is good. So a substitution on here as Sams comes on. And Nash takes this one up. Now Magid puts up a floater. That one is no good and rebounded by Moshine. Just the shots, again, not falling for Greens Farms. That's really been just the way it's been against Brunswick these past few games. And Weiss able to secure that nice rebound. Now Magid coming down the side. Kicks this one, and that one is no good. Couldn't find his brother underneath, and it's going to be a Brunswick inbound.
GFA has had a lot of these rush
looks
possessions.
like it went off the Brunswick player's foot.
Oh, interesting. But my point still stands. GFA has had a lot of these rush possessions where they've just shot the shots that are contested or not the greatest. They aren't the greatest shot selection. I think it's a key to the way Brunswick's offense has been playing. They're getting a bit intimidated by it, and they're trying to, win all those points back at once, and that's a recipe for disaster. We know from the NBA, we know from the girls' game, we know from all sorts of sources that when you try to win it all back at once, when you try to do too much, you end up getting in a bigger hole, which leads you to try to do even more, and the snowball effect continues. So GFA has to slow down, calm down, understand what they do well, play to their strengths, drop some plays that they know work, and get it going on offense. Has a couple of positive possessions. We always talk about positive possessions in games, and GFA has had a bunch of empty possessions or negative possessions, and so GFA needs to have a couple of positive possessions, and they're right back in this game.
So Adelman takes this one, working against Trestman. Had that one stripped away, and a nice play there by Chuck Johnson to strip that one away and get it back for his team. Sam's to inbound this one. And Goleta gives it right back. Now calling for a play outside. Trestman shoots from deep. That one is good. Well, the center hits a big three-pointer. And everyone seems to be heating up for the Bruins. It's a 12-point lead for him now. Is Edelman now trying to get through, puts up a floater. That one is no good and rebounded by Johnson. Now Joseph takes it up. Trestman gets it. Now tightly guarded by Edelman. Took some contact, no foul called by the referee, and a timeout is called by Brunswick, and smartly so, as they were grouped up by Greens Farms real tightly. Gives both teams a chance to regroup. But you'll see, the three-pointers, when they kick in for Brunswick, it happens fast.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, Brunswick is a very fast team. Blink and you miss it kind of play, and definitely applies to their three-point shooting ability. When they get it going, you got to watch out as the other team, because they're gonna make you pay from the three-point line. And GFA side of the ball, you got to find some way to get positive possessions. You got to find some way to maneuver your players, get into the open man, find some scheme that works to get points on most possessions, because if you have an efficient offense, you don't have to always score the three. You don't even have to always score. But what you have to do is you have to put yourself in an ability where you're making shots and taking shots that are the shots that you want to take, and that the shots that you know how to take. And GFA's been having rush shots. They've been having rush possessions. They're trying to do too much, trying to shoot three-pointers that just aren't there, or shots that just aren't there because they're worried about turnovers. And what you have to do is you have to have a scheme going, have some ball control in place, and be able to understand that you have the ability to come back in this game. It's just a matter of what plays you're going to draw up and what schemes you're going to use to do that.
As Trestman able to pick up that loose ball. Back outside, gets around Weiss. Nice move to the basket, but he couldn't finish. Joseph with a nice pass outside. Here's Goleta with the floater. That one is airballed and taken by Magid. Now Magid with a full head of steam, stops a bit, lets his teammates recover. Nash takes it up, working against Sams. A nice move to slip by, kicks it outside to Weiss. Now Yates. Nash now spins around, finds Magid outside. They have 10 seconds to shoot. A nice drive by Magid, and he puts that one in to make it a 10-point lead now for the Bruins, as 50 seconds and counting left in either your first half or your first game, as that's an and one. A nice play by Tristan Joseph.
That's got to be at least 3 or 4 and ones in this first half alone for Brunswick.
Yeah.
They've been taking advantage of GFA's, GFA's rush fouls in the paint, or their physical style of play in the paint. They've just been making a living from that. That's, and a good amount of them have been three-point plays. And like this one here, if you're GFA, you got to limit those turnovers. You got to limit those fouls. You cannot, that's not sustainable. And GFA had a really good offensive drive, and like we said, it was all about the passing and all about the ball control. They waited, they were patient, they found the open man, and it paid off with Matt Magid getting that layup in the paint. And so we'll see how they do play this here. They're going to try to do the same thing, like you said, swing it out from the paint and find the open man that way.
And that one has tipped another turnover. It's really been the word of the game so far for Greens Farms' offense is turnover, and looks like one of the Greens Farms players shaken up a bit. as Weiss hit the floor pretty hard, but looks like he's able to get up on his own power. And Grills will check in for him. He'll look to walk this one off. Now Nash to take this in the final 10 seconds. We'll see if they can try to put an exclamation mark on the end of this one as Nash has a nice move to get by. Now Brunswick, they have 2 seconds to shoot. It's Sam, has to put one up. That one is no good, and that'll end the first half. Or first game.
Or first game, we'll see what happens.
We'll see if the scoreboard is reset. But regardless of whether it's reset or not, for Greens Farms, it's been a problem with the turnovers and poor shot selection as a whole. When they try to rush, they see the scoreboard, they want to play hero and get those points back as soon as possible, and well, it blows up if you don't make 1 or 2 of them.
Absolutely, yeah. If you have too many of those empty possessions, if you have too many of those misses where you take those risky shots, and they're risky for a reason, because more likely than not, you're not going to make that shot. And if you take it multiple times, you're going to have multiple empty possessions, and then Brunswick just starts to run away with it. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. GFA down 15, obviously not the spot that they want to be. It's a pretty big hole. And I think that comes from the fact that they just hadn't really gotten in a rhythm on offense. They didn't have any sort of scheme to move the ball efficiently, find the open person. Everyone's trying to play hero, and when that happens, they fell behind pretty big. Towards the end of the half, I liked what they were doing on offense. I liked the passing scheme. I liked being patient, and they didn't worry too much about the shot clock. The shot clock dwindled, but they had control. They felt that they were in control of their offense, and it paid off. And if they continue that same scheme and shore up on defense, and the defense is really the tough part, because Brunswick's just such a fast-paced offense. You have to be able to track with them.
Also underneath the basket and in the paint, so it's tough to match that up, especially when they have such a height advantage over you, for sure. I mean, of course, you have Edelman, who's just taller than anybody out there, but I mean, when you have but not everyone on the court is as tall as him. And Brunswick certainly do have some very tall players.
Absolutely.
But I guess, any basketball players tall to me.
Yep.
Sitting down here at 5'8". But let's not talk about that.
He's sitting here at 5'6".
That's why I'm in the broadcast booth and not out there.
Absolutely, yeah. They're all basically giants to you and I.
Well, 8 minutes on the clock now. We'll see if they reset the scoreboard or if they keep it at 35-22. We'll be right back at you in about 7 minutes for the exciting conclusion of this one. Greens Farm's still in it, but they got to shore up on defense and make sure they limit those offensive turnovers. We'll be back in just a sec. And we are back for the second half. As you can see, the scoreboard has reset with the new rules. Even though I know that's going to happen, I still always hold on to that little tiny bit that thinks that maybe they'll play a full game. But no, game 2 starting real soon, as I believe Greens Farms is going to be inbounding it, but you never know. Actually, you know what? Probably Brunswick's inbounding it.
I think, GFA won the
Brunswick are in.
GFA won the tip-off, so Brunswick will be the one inbounding it. Yeah, they must they reset the scoreboard to keep us on our toes. They happens for a little bit, and as soon as we get used to it, they don't reset it.
Well, it could happen for a few games.
I know, on the Saturday marathon.
No, it is what it is. 0-0. So a fresh start for both teams after a nice halftime to reset a few things. As Sealy now drives up, Molshine has it in the corner. He hands this one off. It's Mahalik who, what are they calling a travel? I believe that's what they called. So Girls puts this one into Nash as Greens Farms forces that turnover. Nash now going up against Riley and has that one swatted away. A nice play by Mahalik, but a travel is called in the back court. So an inbound coming here for Greens Farms.
2 lucky breaks for GFA.
Absolutely.
With the turnover for two turnovers by Brunswick, and the travel call there. That's an unforced error, and GFA gets the ball right back. Now, scorers reset, so that 15-point deficit is not quite there yet anymore. They can pretend like it's a 0-0 game because it really is.
Well, Mahalik almost able to get that one out, but couldn't quite get it. Now gets the rebound, and Riley takes this one out for the Bruins. Kicks it outside. Couldn't put it in from beyond the arc. And the Dragons will inbound this one underneath. Nash takes this one up, still scoreless after a few possessions. He kicks this one in. Nice play by Mayock. Here's a nice drive by Edelman, couldn't finish it. Rebounded by Sealy, who takes this one out. Passes it underneath. Finds Riley outside, who then takes that three-pointer just a bit too strong and tipped away by Edelman. And the Bruins have it underneath.
Defensive game so far. Neither team able to break away from each other's defense. And Brunswick committing a bunch of turnovers, and GFA holding strong on the defensive side. They got to be happy with the way they've been playing so far.
Kicks it outside. Molshine with a nice drive and puts it in. And the Bruins strike first. As here's Nash going to work against Riley. Here is Edelman from deep. He hits that one. And there's a three-pointer. This one's outside, couldn't put it in, and it's rebounded by Edelman. Either it's a 2v2. Magid fires it outside. Mayock, good, nice way to save that one. Shoots that one from the corner, and that one is good. Well,
that was a nice 1-2 play by Grills and Mayock. Back and forth, back and forth. Finally finds Mayock open and gets the ball.
So Greens Farms takes a 4-point lead. Now Riley driving. Looking outside there. Flings that one in, and it was tipped away, so the Bruins will have it. Corden will come in for Grills. Dishes it outside. Now Molshine pulls up from deep. Couldn't put that one in, and is rebounded by Nash. Who now goes against Riley. Slips by him, puts that one up, and a foul is called, so we'll see. I believe it's going to be a off the ball foul, so it will be underneath the basket. No shooting foul. And Magid just looking for someone outside Mayock. Gets around Sealy. Passes this one out. It's, Magid couldn't put that one in. Riley now going up. Passes it back to Molshine. Has to get around Corden. He does. Slips by, and no and one, but he will go to the line to shoot 2.
GFA's defense playing well. You have the foul here, and I think there's something they need to look after. And there's something they need to make sure that they don't commit too many of, which is those fouls. Because towards the end of the first half, Brunswick was in the bonus, and
I believe Magid was just called for a technical foul. So
it's one of the first we've seen this season.
It is.
I think it is the first we've seen this season.
It's a technical foul. Now, it's not really a foul. It's technically one.
Technically
it's a foul, so technically these shots do count. Makes the second one. So we'll continue to shoot here after the technical foul. That one is missed. He's got one more. He couldn't make a lot of those. I guess he likes being surrounded by red jerseys.
Yeah, maybe he shoots better when he's under pressure. Sometimes players play like that, and not entirely sure what it is or how that works, but sometimes it works like that.
Boy, huge play for the Bruins to put them back in it, even though he didn't make a lot of them. They have the chance to tie up the game. Passes that one outside, and they say that he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a good break for GFA. They didn't make him any of those. Technical and has 4 shots. Wow, I mean, that's a prime opportunity, and that's exactly the thing that they didn't want to give Brunswick. But Brunswick's not able to capitalize. GFA's got to kind of count their lucky stars there. And Brunswick didn't make the most of that, and now they got to work their way forward on offense.
So now Nash tries to shake around Riley. He could not. Floater inside to Edelman, who then drives around Mahalik, and they say it's a foul called. So an inbound coming here for Greens Farms. And Magid will take this one. As he flings this one down to Edelman. Now Corden. Nice job to collect that one by Mayock. Now Edelman spins, takes that big shot. He rose up, but he couldn't splash that one down. As now Riley goes to work around Nash. Kicks it outside. Seeley from beyond the arc. That one is good. Tie ball game.
And just like that, tie ball game. That's the fast-paced offense that Brunswick does. When they get the 3 going, bam, right back in the game, and that's what you got to look out for when you're GFA. That ability to just immediately get that spark and immediately get right back into the game, even though you have accumulated point after point for a while and have a good, sizable lead against a really tough defense. Brunswick just has the ability to evaporate that really quickly. And if you're GFA, you can't get bogged down in that. You can't get bummed by that. You have to be able to play the way you've been playing, because that's the way you're going to stay in this game and keep clawing your way back from deficits that are eventually to come.
So Nash hits the first one. And the second one. He puts his team back on top now by 2. Seeley now going up against Mayock. As Riley now looking, puts up an off-balance 2-pointer, but he's able to put that one in to tie up this one. And Nash will take this up for the Dragons. Looking for a hole, looking for a teammate. He goes up against Riley, dishes it outside. Magid takes a deep 2. That one is off the mark and tipped away, rebounded by the Bruins. Magid tried to get back on defense for a quick steal, but he couldn't find it. Riley left wide open from deep, and he put it in. So the Bruins take a 3-point lead. They left Riley open. That's what happens. Oh.
Shot is up by Mayock off the rim. That's going to be taken back by Brunswick. Foul's called.
Oh, jump ball is called.
Oh, jump ball.
Oh, this one's going to Greens Farm, so they got the chance to tie this one up as Weiss checks back into the game. Good to see him back up after a fall in the first half. And Grills also will come in. Edelman will check out.
Looks like they're going with a not playing with the height advantage, which is an interesting call, given how much of a height advantage Brunswick has.
Yeah.
And maybe they're going for more of the shooting ability, I suppose. Keeping girls in there for the defensive plays. Weiss is a good three-point shooter. Obviously Mayock and both Maggots, so it looks like that's what the strategy they're going for. But what I was saying about Brunswick definitely is holding true in these last couple of minutes. When they get things going on offense, look out. They are one of the fastest-paced teams on offense I've ever seen on a GSPN broadcast. And that's a tribute to the way they've been passing and just the ferociousness that they play on the offensive side of the ball. They're unafraid to take shots. They're unafraid to go in the middle and possibly take some punishment from the other players. And that's really what leads them to increase these leads. They just strike and strike and strike, and they're able to make it.
It's a huge play for Greens Farms, and one from Matt Magid, so he'll go to the line to try to tie this one up with just a little bit over 5 minutes gone in your second game. Magid hits that one, tie game. As it looks like Nash is ready to check in at the next dead ball. Seeley thought about taking it but does not, puts it into Moshine. Now Riley going up against Weiss, who dishes it back to Seeley. Makes a nice move, passes it outside Moshine. He looks for an angle, looks for a nice drive and puts it in. A great job by Moshine to just power his way through the Greens Farms defense. And now here's Magid, who drives, kicks it outside to Weiss. Flashes it outside. Magid from deep. That one is good. So Greens Farms a 1-point lead. A timeout called by the Dragons. So a huge three-pointer. Now their offense starting to wake up a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. Both teams can get it going on offense when they need to, and that's exactly what they did there. And GFA able to get it going on offense. Huge three-pointer. Puts them ahead by 1 point, and now they have an ability to work with that. And that happened. The three-pointer happened because of their ability to pass the ball around. They didn't rush the shot. They found the open person. They found Magid, and Magid shoots it from way beyond the arc and is able to make it there. But that's really what both teams have been doing well this half. When the offense is struggling, when they don't see what they like on the defensive side of the ball, neither team has rushed those shots. Neither team has rushed those possessions. They've looked, surveyed the defense, passed it around a bit, tried to confuse the defense, and then when they have the open lane, they've taken the opportunity.
So a 1-point game as Brunswick set to inbound here. It will be Riley checking this one into Seeley. Now Riley taking it back up. Back to Seeley working up against Weiss. He flashes this one. Here's from three-point land. Couldn't put it in. It is rebounded by Grills. Now Magid tries to get around. That one's up and in. So a three-point lead for the Dragons. As Riley now takes this one, flashes it outside the Moshine. Moshine flings it back. Seeley from beyond the arc and the tie, no good, and rebounded by Nash. As he flashes one to Magid. Magid could not put it in. Rebounded by Weiss, and a jump ball is called. This one is going to go to Brunswick, but a nice effort by Weiss to get that rebound and force an inbound here for Brunswick and get possession back for his team with the next jump ball. As Edelman is going to come in, or rather he's not going to come in.
Oh. Faked us out a little bit there. Yeah, that was a great series of plays by GFA. Got the turnovers, went down the court, unable to get the points there, but really like the game style that they're playing and the game plan that they have. It's really working for them, and they're staying with Brunswick. Have the lead, in fact, something they couldn't say.
And Moshine hits
anymore.
A real deep three. As Magid and company look to respond, outside to Weiss. Nice pass inside to Magid, who then backs up. Gives one off to Nash. Flings it to Grills, who comes up for the drive and sinks that one. And a nice layup and attack by Grills to put the Dragons up. Almost halfway through this second game as Seeley flings this one outside. It's Moshine from the corner. That one is off the rim, rebounded by Mahalik. Puts it up himself, cannot get the and one, but will go to the line with a chance to tie up this one. So let's see if the Bruins will be better from the free throw line after missing a lot of that technical foul series.
Exactly. That's one of the things that GFA has on Brunswick seemingly in this game is their ability to shoot free throws, and that could be a difference maker towards the end of the game, towards waning minutes of the final game, I guess you could call it. Is GFA has been more consistent from the free throw line than Brunswick has, and as you said, there was one time when Brunswick had that technical and they had 4 shots and they only made one out of the 4.
One.
I mean, it was like they had a prime opportunity there and they weren't kind of hindered by their ability or inability rather to shoot the free throws, and it shows there. So GFA, that might come into effect down the stretch. If they're down by 10 in the final minute, or 10 in the final 2 minutes, they could start fouling. And they don't have to feel too bad about it because Brunswick hasn't been able to make those free throws. If that trope continues throughout the rest of the game, that could be the game plan strategy for GFA if they are down by a considerable margin towards the end of the half.
There's a nice behind-the-back play, and this one is in. So make it a 3-point lead for the Dragons. And an interesting twist, Brunswick has substituted their entire team off. So it's an entirely new core 5 on the court so far. As Tressman has a nice pass underneath, it's Sigurdsson who's able to put it in and make it a 1-point game. Now Nash bringing it up. Now halfway through is a timeout called from Greens Farms. Halfway through, Greens Farms has a 1-point lead. It's a narrow lead, but it's a lead nonetheless.
Absolutely, yeah. When you're playing Brunswick and when they've played Brunswick in these past 3 games, they'll take any lead they can get. I mean, none of it's safe. Yeah, it's the first time they've led in all of those games, and GFA's got to be happy with the way they've been playing.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely things they could clean up, especially the turnover side of the ball, and the fouls. Definitely don't want to commit too many of those because Brunswick isn't the best free throw shooting team, but they obviously can shoot free throws.
Yes.
You don't want to give them those free points. And so, but GFA's got to be happy with the way they've been playing, and I think it's centered around that they've slowed down their offense and become a lot more efficient on the offensive side of the ball. They haven't tried to play superhero. They haven't tried to just shoot the ball whenever they felt like it. They have a game plan. They know who they want to go to on any given possession, and they know exactly how to adapt to any sort of defensive scheme that they see on the court and play to that strength and play to that ability, all over the court and get the points that they can take what the defense gives you, essentially. And that's one of the reasons why they lead, however small, they lead in this game because of their efficient offense so far.
This one's dumped inside to Edelman working against Sigurdsson, who puts one up and no good, rebounded by Sigurdsson. Now Tressman flashes this one to Joseph, and he stops to allow his teammates to come back. Outside, Tressman now going up against Edelman. Fake the shot. Here's Joseph from deep. No good. A push-off is called on Augustine. So the Dragons will inbound this one.
Fouls coming a bit of a problem for Brunswick going in this half. They've been committed a good amount of fouls and given some turnovers back to GFA. And so if you're Brunswick, you want to be able to clean those up because you're right in this game, and you technically won the last game by 15 points. So you definitely have the ability to really rock it past GFA on offense, but you have to be able to clean up the turnovers. On the GFA side of the ball, they're going to take any turnovers they can get, and any sort of foul, any sort of turnover that they can get from Brunswick, they're definitely going to take and they're going to run with it. And GFA's offense, I'm really liking the style that they're playing. I think it's a very efficient style. I think it's a very sustainable style too, and that's exactly what you want to be if you're GFA in this instance. You can't rush. You can't try to do too much because when they do, it's disastrous.
So Nash to take this one. Outside now to Magid. A nice screen by Edelman, and it will not lead to a 3-pointer for Magid, but almost off the rim. Tressman behind the back, and a foul is called. Let's see if they call it on. Are they going to call it on the shot, or are they going to call it off the ball? We will see. It will be on the shot. So a nifty move by Tressman to get himself in position to have the Bruins take the lead at the free throw line. Shakes in the first one. And able to get that one in too. Second one a little bit more dramatic, but it counts all the same. And it's a 1-point lead for the Bruins now. as Maggot dishes it outside to Caluvet, who flings it outside to Maggot. Now Nash with a nice drive, couldn't finish it, and that one is swatted up, rebounded by Sigurdsson, and Tressman now takes this up with a full head of steam. Drops it off for Joseph, kicks it outside. Augustine from deep. That one is good from beyond the arc. You can see the eruption from the bench. That one's a momentum booster if you've ever seen one. Here's a deep three by Maggot. That one's airballed and rebounded by Joseph. That's an example of just getting a little bit too desperate, taking it a little bit too quickly. And there's a foul against Edelman. Or no, rather it's a foul against Sigurdsson, so the Dragons will get it back. And Weiss is going to check in for Caluvet. Caluvet doing a good job, but he's struggled to find his footing on the defensive end of the court.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you aren't situated on defense, especially against this Brunswick team, they're going to make you pay. And Caluvet has done a good job in the past on the defensive side of the ball.
And Tressman,
here we go,
rocks the rim with a slam dunk.
He's looking for the first dunk of the game, and there
Edelman
it is.
Tries to do the same thing, and he is fouled.
GFA has their own dunk ability. You have, Edelman, and then you have Mayock too, who's a surprise. He can dunk too.
Can get up there. It's
yeah,
surprising.
exactly. He has hops. He can definitely go up there, but looking for the first dunk of the game, and that's one for the books there.
Edelman misses the first one, as Eisenstein will come in, so you can see that they're going with more of a defense approach, taking Nash out for Eisenstein, but Eisenstein's great on the defensive end. He can really secure those rebounds, get those steals.
Exactly. Even though he's, not the tallest player on the court, he definitely makes up for it in his ability to box out players and get those rebounds that way, which is a fantastic ability for GFA to have right now when they're facing when they're down by 5 against a really fast-paced Brunswick offense right now.
As now Maggot gets it after the turnover, slashes it outside to Eisenstein, who almost loses it, but is able to get it back. There's Edelman with a nice spin. Has that one blocked by Sigurdsson. A huge defensive play for the Bruins, taking points off the board for Greens Farms. And one down the other end. It's a hype train by Brunswick's bench right now.
Absolutely. I haven't heard the Coil Gym this loud since the pandemic began. Yeah, packed the house last year. And if you didn't know, if there was no video, you'd think we were in Brunswick Stadium. You'd think that we were at home, and that could be the difference maker. Like I said, when you have home field advantage comes from crowd noise, as it turns out. When the crowd is loud enough that it can get into the head of a referee, and in very close situations where it's kind of 50-50, who committed that foul, who committed that violation, the ref, if there's a lot of crowd noise, will side with the crowd. And sometimes, it's just, sometimes, and oftentimes, it's based on the psychology, how we humans kind of interpret different, verbal cues from those surrounding us. But that could be a difference maker if it's loud enough for Brunswick during Brunswick plays, and Brunswick kind of can influence those really tightly contested. Was it a foul? Was it not a foul? That's kind of how home field advantage works. And if Brunswick can make GFA the Dragons' End their home field because of their noise, that's a pretty impressive feat.
Well, the Dragons down by 5 with 5 minutes to go. We'll see if, again, their defense has done a pretty good job this half in getting their offense opportunities. It's just a few rush shots here and there when Greens Farms goes down that accounts for the 5-point margin. But look, 5 points is not that big. It's a two-shot game.
Exactly. It's one of those leads where it's at a threshold in which if you don't shore up the mistakes that you're making, it could be a lot bigger. But if you do, you can start to pull back on that lead, and eventually you could be in a position where you're losing by 2, 1, possibly leading 2. So GFA's got to shore up, the things they're doing wrong, which is mainly the turnovers, and make sure that they have positive offensive plays, and they're right back in this one. Definitely not out by a long stretch.
As this one's checked outside to Augustine. Here's Tressman, a nice pass to Sigurdsson, who could not put that one in, juggled by Edelman, and now he races down the court, looking for a teammate. And he's able to find Nash. Now Nash with a drive, a nice spin, tries to put one up. Oh man, what a move by Nash, make it a 3-point game. This has been a great game for Nash so far, so confident with those drives.
Absolutely, huge game for him, and just he sees an opening, he goes, presses the B button, swerves in and out of the defense, and he's able to get those points, and that's what GFA's got to be thankful for that. He's been very, very good this game, especially in the paint where GFA has struggled to get points because of the physicality and the defensive skill of Brunswick players, and he's keeping them in them right now, keeping them in this game.
Now it's Galetta at the top. Gives this one off to Joseph. Looking for a way through. Gives this one back outside to Galetta. Inside now. Has that one knocked away and almost taken by Greens Farms, but Joseph able to get there for the rebound. That one's up and in, rattles it home. And it's a 5-point game once again. Nash trying to take some moves out of his bag of tricks to get around Joseph, but he didn't bite. As here's the drive from Edelman. Stops in his tracks and puts that one in, back to a 3-point game.
Good situational awareness by Oscar Edelman, able to survey the defense, stop, pull back, get the shot, get the points. Very good job.
So here's Tressman with the drive, puts it in, so they're trading off twos so far. In the final 4 minutes of this one, as Nash now with a strong drive, puts it up and one for Nash. What a huge play by Joel Nash, the 8th grader, making such an impact. Look at that confidence.
Oh man, his confidence is probably sky high right now. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's just been in his element this game, driving through the paint, swerving in and out of the defense, able to get those points, and now caps it off with an and one. Yeah, he's got to be confident with the way he's been playing. He's got to be happy with the way he's been playing too. Such a great addition to this offense, kind of a spark that GFA needed. 8th grader too. You forget he has his confidence, he has his command of the game, and he's only an 8th grader, and it's just a sign of how great of a player he is, and just how bright of a future career he has here at GFA.
So he will be shooting one to try to make this a 2-point game. He could not put that one in, almost rebounded by Grills. He is able to save it, but that one goes out of bounds. So close. Boy, if he missed that one and it was rebounded by Grills and he puts it in, it's a 1-point game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
That'd been a...
So Nash checks out, and Eisenstein checks on. Now Joseph makes Eisenstein miss. Could not put it down the other way. Racing for it, and a good play by Eisenstein, and this one is going to Greens Farm, so they have the chance to tie this one up as Nash is going to check in for Eisenstein. So they make the substitution in reverse. Now Edelman looking for a way through. Puts one up, no good, and it's juggled a bit. What a play underneath by Grills, and that one is given away by Edelman. What a nice effort by Grills to secure that ball back. And a charge foul is called. And Magid draws another big defensive play for his team. Finally getting the call he's wanted all night.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he and Galetta have been kind of going at it there most of the night. You know, push and shoves, refs kind of let him play. But now he gets the call that he wants, and GFA has the opportunity.
14.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Interesting. That is interesting how that kind of works out, doesn't it?
As Nash hits the deck, and here is a foul. Looks like a shooting foul, so Edelman will have the chance to make this a 1-point game at the free throw line as Eisenstein is set to check in. Well, Eisenstein set the check in and the next buzzer, and Edelman to shoot 2. First one not able to find its way in. Second one is in, so a 2-point game here with just under 3 minutes to go. Outside to Sigurdsson, had an open shot, but I don't think the big man's up for taking some three-pointers. You never
Maybe,
know,
though. You don't know, Edelman takes some three-pointers, too.
Here's Sams, dishes it outside. Now Tressman with a strong drive, and he's going to go to the line to shoot, too. So a chance to get those points right back.
Both teams in the bonus. So
And that's big, yeah.
That's big.
Big for both teams.
Towards the final stretch of this game, makes the foul game that teams usually do. You know, foul, save time. A little bit of a trickier play because both teams, any sort of foul, now going to be shooting.
So back to a 4-point game. And Nash takes this one, passes it outside of the corner. Tiptoeing the sideline, and one for Matt Magid. What a huge play for the Dragons. And he's going to have a chance to make this a 1-point game at the free throw line. Great way to tiptoe the sideline and get that shot with contact. That is huge.
That's big. That's huge for GFA. Getting those, tiptoeing the sideline, string the tightrope there, draws the foul, and makes the shot too. GFA's in a prime position, could be down by only 1. And with the way this game's been going, with the way their defense has been playing, that's not a bad position at all.
And that one is off the mark. So a 2-point game, but still a nice play by Magid. And we'll see if their defense can come up with a big play for him now. As Goetta shoots from deep, that one is off the mark and rebounded by Edelman, who flings it off to Magid. He gives this one to Grills. Grills now hands it off. Edelman able to get it, and a timeout is called by Greens Farms. And I think that's a good play by Coach Jarvis. Try to draw something up with the tie looming, and we're almost reaching the 2-minute warning of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Draw something up. It looked like Edelman was a bit pressured there on the far side of the court. Didn't want to lose possession there, so good job calling the timeout. Now they're able to draw something up on offense. And that's where they've been their best selves on offense, is when they've had a concrete plan going forward, when they have some sort of scheme, when they feed a certain player, when they have certain offense that they want to run, screens, double team, doesn't matter what they're doing. When they have that going, they've been able to do well on offense. And when you're down by only 2 minutes left in the game, this is where you get into kind of 2-minute drill. What do you do in these final 2 minutes of the game? How do you show up on defense? When do you start fouling if you need to? Do you start fouling if you need to? These are the things that Coach Jarvis has had in his back pocket throughout the rest of the game and through his coaching playbook. And we'll see which kind of schemes and opportunities they're going to create through these schemes.
This one's outside. Kalyabay from deep, off the mark. He couldn't knock that one down. That would have given Greens Farms the 1-point lead, and it's rebounded by Tristan Joseph. Now in the final 2 minutes, he drives and puts that one in. So a 4-point lead. You got to make sure you don't get desperate for points if you're Greens Farms and shook up threes, as that one bounces off of a Brunswick defender. So lucky break for Greens Farms. They get the ball right back. Magid throws this one back. It's Grills now going up against Molshine. He finds Magid, pushes off of Sams. Back now to Edelman, outside on the corner. Grills working, looking for a teammate. He finds Nash, tries to get around Joseph. They've got 7 seconds to shoot now. Edelman driving. Put him in the spin cycle and put that one down. It's a 2-point game with a minute to go. A huge play by Oscar Edelman, capping off what's been a great night for him so far, and we'll see. The defense needs to come up with one big play, and Greens Farms could have this game tied up.
What a play by Oscar Edelman. Spin cycle, deep wash, able to get it done on the offensive side of the ball, get those points, and puts GFA in a good position. Down by 2. 1 minute left. This is definitely coming down to the wires. We predicted, Charles, this is going to be a great rest of the game. And good redemption for Oscar Edelman. He's played well throughout this game, but for the final couple of minutes, he had some trouble with ball control, gave some balls away, had some trouble maintaining possession there. And this one should do wonders for his confidence. Great job maintaining possession, tight roping the sidelines, putting on the spin cycle, and getting those points.
And that's a huge missed free throw by Tristan Joseph, because that keeps it a one-possession game as he makes that one. But it's a 3-point game, so Greens Farms does have the opportunity to tie this one up with a 3-pointer.
Yeah, that's a big miss, and can't quite put GFA away. Brunswick can't quite put them away. That's good for GFA. They got another opportunity to score some points. Let's see what they drop here.
As Nash has a drive, couldn't put it in. It's batted away. Good play by Maggot underneath, who puts that one in. So now they've got 38 seconds. There's a 7-second difference between the shot and the game clock. GFA down by 1. They look for a big steal here. They played well to battle back. Here's Joseph. Couldn't put it in. Now Grills has it. Greens Farms with a big chance to take the lead. Maggot almost committed a foul, but does not. Back out Nash. He looks for a teammate. It's Caluve from the 3-point line. That's a big 3 by Marius Caluve. Puts it in, the freshman. An unbelievable shot puts Greens Farms up by 2. And this could be a buzzer beater here for the Bruins. As Tressman underneath puts that one in. And we will have overtime in the Coyle Gym. A huge shot by Caluve to make it a 2-point game. Oh my goodness. A huge play to force OT. The first overtime of this season for GSBN. Oh boy. Look, we said it was going to be a good one, and the Greens Farms have figured out their offense now in this second half. Look, took 3 games, but better late than never.
Oh,
we're going to have a great ending to this one in overtime.
Wow, I mean, what an ending. Caluve hitting that, probably the biggest 3-pointer he has made all season. Puts GFA ahead, and then Brunswick equalizing with that 2-pointer. We're going into overtime, Charles. A little cherry on top of a great game that we've had so far.
Oh boy, and look, what a play by Wyatt Tressman to find Moshon underneath to give him the tie. That wasn't easy either.
Yeah, that's not easy.
Look, you thought that he might take that floater, but he
Yeah.
said, no, I'm going to pass it to my guy, Moshon underneath the basket, and get that easy 2. A lot easier in the final seconds. Oh boy. Here we go, overtime set to go. This one is taken by Nash. And Greens Farms have 2 minutes to try to cap this one off. Caluve from deep, that one is no good, and rebounded by Seeley. As they hand this one off, it's Tressman driving. That one is up and no good, but there's a foul called. Look, a great job by Caluve on that last shot. He missed that last 3-pointer that he took, but he said, no, I got this one. He's got the confidence.
Absolutely.
To go ahead and shoot like nothing happened.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what you have to do. Put it in the back of your mind, like brush it off. You missed it. That doesn't mean you're going to miss the next one. Put yourself in a position where you're going to, or you know you can make those shots, and then put in your best effort, and that's exactly what he did from that corner. Fantastic play and a great, I wouldn't say introduction to GSBN. I think he scored a couple of points on our broadcast, but what a fantastic play nonetheless.
After missing that one, Greens Farms has the opportunity to take the lead. You've got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Nash hands this one off to Maggot. Almost lost it, but Edelman's able to get the ball right back. Working. Passes this one inside. It's Grills. Back to Nash. Here's the drive. Puts up the shot. It rattles in and gives the Dragons a 1-point lead. Things are heating up in the final minute of overtime. As we've got Joseph passes this one to Tressman. Here's Seeley. Here's underneath a nice pass. Goleta passes this one. That's knocked away. Rebounded by Seeley, who finds Goleta underneath and gives Brunswick a 1-point lead. Some nice passing by Brunswick leading to those points. As here's Grills, rises up, couldn't put it in. It's knocked away. Taken by Grills again, outside corner. Edelman for the lead. He got it! A huge play by Oscar Edelman. You can hear that bench erupt. It's a 2-point game for the Dragons. What a play.
What a play.
And the big man making the 3-pointer.
Oh,
he made that one count.
Absolutely. GFA's offense coming in at just the right time. Towards the end of the game, in overtime, GFA heating up 2-point lead off of an Oscar Edelman 3-pointer. Fantastic play. Really, you can't make this stuff up.
44
Fantastic
seconds
plays.
left now. Greens Farms have been battling all night. They put this first half behind them, They played a heck of a second half so
Oh,
far.
absolutely. They went into halftime, had the game plan, looked at what they did right on the offensive side of the ball, looked at what they did wrong on the offensive side of the ball, same for the defense, looked at what Brunswick was showing them, and worked with that. They had a very efficient offense. They didn't let up. They didn't get discouraged when Brunswick had those scoring surges. They stayed with it. They kept it close, and this is the payoff. Leading by 2 with 44 seconds left after a massive Oscar Edelman three-pointer. Wow. What a fantastic, fantastic game.
Well, 44 seconds now. Tristan Joseph hands this one off to Tressman, and now Seeley working up against Maggot. They brought Eisenstein into the game for some defensive plays. Here's Tressman from deep off the mark and put up, rebounded by Grills. 30 seconds now. They got to be careful that they don't commit a turnover. As Nash now going up against Joseph, busting out some moves from his bag of tricks, almost turns the ball over. There is a foul called on Brunswick because they almost got that one, but Greens Farms will have an inbound here. And the shot clock is turned off. Well, Greens Farms is going to go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. So big free throws coming up for Joel Nash, who's had such a great night so far. Well, here's a chance to put his team up by 2 possessions.
Yeah, these are huge free throws, and he's been good from
Nash puts that one away. That's a real important one to get that first one, make it a 3-point game. So at least you know that the Bruins won't take a game-winning shot.
Exactly. Now you want to put this one away so that they have to take 2 possessions.
That one is good.
Tied up.
A 4-point game. Huge free throws by Joel Nash, and we'll see if Brunswick can respond as Nash will check out and Weiss will check on. You want all the defense you can get right now as Eisenstein comes up for the backcourt press. They've got 18 seconds. Big, nice drive by Tressman. That one is no good, knocked away. Seeley has it in the corner. Here's Goleta off the mark. Rebounded by Edelman, who takes it back up. They've got 6 seconds. Nice job by Moshine to take that one, but this one's going to go to Greens Farms with 5 seconds to go, and it looks like they're going to pull this one out in OT.
Oh, wow. Huge, huge, huge free throws by Joel Nash. I mean, puts them up by 4, 2 possessions, 5 seconds, and GFA with the ball. That's what GFA is comfortable. Don't want to commit a turnover, for sure, but definitely in a comfortable position.
As a foul was called, and that'll just about put a bow on this one with 2 seconds left.
I mean, if you're GFA, you couldn't have asked for a more dramatic finish. I mean, 3-pointer by Marius Caluve. Down the court, Brunswick ties it up, sends it to overtime. Then you have a 3-pointer by Edelman. Then you have Joel Nash, the 8th grader, the 8th grade leader, getting the points there off of his free throws.
That one almost making it, but what a game by Greens Farms in overtime, taking the second one. Look, they lost the first one, but they didn't let that one affect it. They finally get the better of Brunswick in overtime.
Absolutely.
What
finally
a
with that
game
win
by Greens Farms. And the Dragons offense finding it footing. Look, better late than never.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yep, definitely. Better late than never. They get the win they wanted. And it's really very well deserved. They got the play they wanted. They played extremely well. Very efficient offense. They didn't commit many turnovers, not many unforced errors. Really took good control of the game and good control of the ball, and it paid off. They showed in this game that they can go toe-to-toe with a fantastic team. Brunswick's in a different division. They are a really, really strong team, and they showed in this game, I guess you could call it, that they can go toe-to-toe with one of the better teams in the county, and that's such a great feeling. You worked really hard to get to this position. You trained. You played fantastic these couple of games. Really just unable to kind of match what Brunswick was doing on their side of the ball. That's one of the reasons why they fell big in the other games. But now you finally get that win, that sweet taste of victory. You finally have it, and that's because of your hard work and your perseverance to just stay in the game. They didn't let scoring drives by Brunswick get in the way. They didn't let any sort of good play by Brunswick or turnover or missed opportunity on their end get in their way. They did what they knew best. They played to their fundamentals, they played to their strengths, and they got a win here. Fantastic victory for GFA, very well deserved.
Some huge plays, but well, it's time as we finish this one for the land of good and plenty stars of the night. Capping it off, so we're starting it off with number 3 star, Matt Maggot. He played
absolutely.
such a huge game, hitting so many big shots, big three-pointers when they needed them the most, that big and one towards the end of the game, drawing the charge foul to set up his team to try to tie this one. An unbelievable effort by Matt Maggot. He's our 3rd star.
I definitely agree. He's played phenomenally this game. Really such a great player. In these last couple of games against Brunswick, kind of fell behind just because of how good Brunswick was. And he showed his ability in this game, showed his tenacity, showed his prowess, and he very well deserving of our 3rd star.
Number 2 star of the night, hitting a huge three-pointer today. Oscar Edelman getting the rebound,
absolutely.
hitting that massive three-pointer in overtime. He was 2 for 3 from beyond the arc, the big man. He's just willing his team out there. Great leader, and look, setting up that comeback for sure. What a great job by Oscar Edelman. He's our 2nd star.
Definitely, he played fantastic on defense. He's always so good on defense, but he showed his offensive ability too. He can hit the threes when it counts. He can hit those shots when he needs to, and he showed it there. Very well deserving the 2nd star. Definitely agree with your pick there, Charles.
And our number 1 star, the 8th grader, Joel Nash, single-handedly willing his team the confidence on the drives, the points made. I don't know if you could ask any more of Joel Nash. He was just out there playing his heart out. Made those huge free throws. I mean, wow, what a performance. Yeah. Definitely the best performance I've seen him play on a GSPN broadcast, probably his best game of the year. Joel Nash was out there just carrying.
Oh, absolutely. Wow. And as an 8th grader too, just that extra effect that he's one of the youngest on the team, if not the youngest on the team, and he's able to get it done there. Wow. I mean, like you said, this is one of the best games I've seen him play on a GSPN broadcast, and he's just played so phenomenally, took control of the game, led his team through rough patches, didn't let it phase him, carried the team on his back at some points when they needed a big play. He was able to get it done. I couldn't have picked a better person for the 1st star of the night, Charles.
Well, there you have it. What a game. What an ending. It took overtime, but the Dragons finally get it done. A great team effort, and there you go, that's the result. A huge win against a really tough opponent. They finally get the best of Brunswick. Well, this was a lot of fun, Isaac. And look, we got more basketball than we thought we would today, but oh boy, was it worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So much fun. Well, look, I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. I certainly did. This was a lot of fun. This has been Charles Cohen and Isaac Moskowitz, and from everyone at the GSPN crew, we say thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Signing off.
Yes, sir.